Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, sister cusses out my daughter at her wedding. Woman insults me over a kid's meal and fails. A judgmental and rude employee causes a massive sale to be lost due to her behavior. Entitled kid attempts and fails to guilt trip then threaten me to give up my rare game item. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Sister cusses out my daughter at her wedding. So my daughter, we'll call her T, came over to the house to do some laundry and she was asking what the hell is Aunt Liz's problem? I asked what she meant and she explained how my sister had posted on Facebook that she and her husband were going away for their 15th wedding anniversary. T said that she had sent Aunt Liz a congrats post and Liz responded back with very funny. So I sat her down and I told her what I'm about to tell you. When T was 4, Liz had called us and said that she was getting married in a few months. She and I were doing the typical girly squee sounds and oh that's wonderful stuff that sisters usually do. When we calmed down she asked if T would be willing to be the flower girl. I asked her and she said yes, enchanted I'd be flower girl and started running around and pretend flying like she was a new member of the Justice League or something. I told Liz we need to work on it, but she's in. About a month later, the invites came in. In them it was stated that Liz did not want any children under the age of 17 there and explained why. The reasons were sound, bored children, potential disruptions, etc., so I understood them. I did, however, have one concern. I called her and asked, hey, just got the invites, me and the boys will be there, but Hubs has a business trip that month and can't make it. Do you still want T as your flower girl? Liz replied, oh god yes. She's too cute to not have her. I shrugged and said, well it'll be the 4 of us, consider this your RSVP. She said great. See you there. We hung up and I went online and made the reservations. A room for me and T, and an adjoining room for the boys, Ron, 19, and Carl, 17. Names changed and all that. Fast forward to the weekend of the wedding. The venue is a 6-hour drive for me and I had to get out there on a Friday for the Saturday wedding. Since I had to wait for Carl to get out of school, we got a late start on Friday and we got there around 10 p.m. I got out and checked into the hotel room and I texted Liz. They were still at the venue and would be there at least another hour or two taking care of details, so we drove over. We got there and it was the usual pre-wedding chaos. Liz was getting things to her liking and honestly going a bit bridezilla. She saw us first, beamed and came over. However, when she got closer and saw who was in my party, she blew up. Why did you bring her? She screamed. I said, but you wanted her for. I was cut off and Liz went into a complete screaming meltdown about how this was her day, she didn't want children there and how dare you bring a child to my wedding, while looking right at T, and then stormed off screeching curses into the night. I was done. T was crying and saying, but I wanted to be flower girl in between sobs, and Ron and Carl looked like they wanted to kill their aunt and at that moment I wasn't sure I wanted to stop them. I picked up T and tried to comfort her and herded the crew back to the car and we drove back to the hotel. I was seriously considering just packing up the car and heading home. I told the boys that and Ron was being the level-headed one. Mom, it's a 6-hour drive and we're all too tired and pissed to make that drive right now. We'd get in around 5 to 6 in the morning depending on rest stops and bathroom breaks. Do you really want to do that since we have a nice hotel room for the night? How about we go back to the hotel, get a night's sleep and head back in the morning? I grudgingly admitted that he had a point. Carl piped up, Mom, I've got another idea. I was waspish and I kinda snapped, what is it? Carl looked up from his phone and sheepishly said, well, T's pretty upset. Which was true, it's been 15 minutes and she's still sobbing I wanna be flower girl over and over in the back seat. Carl continued, there's a county fair that just started tonight. Carnival rides, petting zoo, games, that sort of thing. I snapped, so? Carl is made of sterner stuff. He didn't wither under my anger and continued on. We have the hotel until Sunday morning. Why not spend the night here, go to the fair tomorrow, and then go home on Sunday like we planned? Give T something to think about other than Aunt Liz's freakout, let her have some fun, and we all could use a mom and the gang outing right about now. I calmed down a bit and said an idea not without merit. I looked at T in the rear view and said, what about it, T? You want to go to the fair instead of the wedding? She sobbed, I want to be flower girl. Carl piped up, they're going to have cotton candy and deep-fried Oreos. The crying stopped, there was one last sniffle and an exhausted but determined I want to go to the fair. So that's what we did and we had fun. Liz could have her bridezilla day, and that was that. Except that it wasn't. We had all turned our phones off since we knew some calls would be coming in and we just could not be bothered to deal with it. When we got back to the hotel, my mom and dad were there. They lit into me about how T was supposed to be there as flower girl and we just blew my sister and her special day off. Mom, Dad. I said. You know how the invites said no children? I called Liz when we got ours and I asked if she still wanted T as a flower girl. She said that she did. So I brought T to the venue last night and Liz flipped out about how dare I bring a child to her special day. Carl, bless his I can't function without an iPhone in his hand, heart pulled up the video. I didn't know he had recorded it, but he was able to catch the final how dare you bring a child to my wedding. I lit into them back. So if T's supposed to be there as flower girl but not be there because she's a child, how am I supposed to pull that off? We went to the fair to calm T down and so she'd have something happy to remember and hopefully forget that Liz cussed her out. 2. Horror. Face. Mom and Dad went quiet, then apologized. They said that they were going to have a word with Liz when she got back from the honeymoon and then had a nice chat with T about the things she saw and did. We drove home Sunday morning and that was that. Story over, back in the present. T was blown away. Mom, would I be a bad person for unfriending her and blocking her ass? I said no and we went back to enjoying some mom and daughter time. Your sister is a crazy one. Did she expect your daughter to only be there specifically for the couple minutes of going down the aisle as the flower girl? How did the follow-up go with your sister when she got back? Feel like I'm missing that part. The point is mom and her children are focusing on themselves. Aunt Liz is a mess, details are juicy but fuel anger. Way to go, OP. Absolutely this. Feels like we're missing a lot of the story that happened afterwards. And this why you don't ask little kids to be at your child-free wedding. You get stressed, you forget, and then you have no flower girl. Yes, T, you can block your aunt and forget all about her. I really want to know what happened when your sis got back. Please. What is Liz's problem? To have not mentioned it for 15 years I would assume is I'm Liz that T forgot, but then why hell would Liz make that reply to T good wishes? Why would she cuss T out and still expect her to be flower girl? I don't understand any of Liz's moves. I was going to doubt the veracity of this story. What? Video? iPhone? That wasn't 15 years ago. Then I realized it was 15 years ago. And now I'm older than I am comfortable with. I originally read it as 17 years ago and I was like, there's no way phones had video capability 17 years ago, and then I reread it and it said 15 and I started thinking, I don't know, maybe they did. Funny, how 15 years ago was SM able to record a video on iPhone, considering the fact first iPhone was released 2007 and you couldn't record videos with it. The first iPhone to be able to record came out in 2009, so yeah, a bit of a stretch, plus the conversation she had with her sons doesn't seem believable to me. Woman insults me over a kid's meal and fails. I work at a local fast food restaurant in my hometown, and this lady pulled up and ordered a kid's meal with a burger, onion rings, and a strawberry lemonade. I read her back the order and she said yes, that's correct. Then I gave her the total. She comes to the window, I charge her and hand her the food, and then she proceeds to say this is not what I ordered, I wanted a kid's meal and then a side of onion rings, but it's wrong, whatever, I guess I'll take it. I said, oh no, we can fix it if you want us to, that's not a problem. She was like, yeah you should because it's not what I ordered. I asked her 3 times if she wanted fries or tater tots with the kids' meal because it comes with one or the other, and she said, I just want what I ordered. I just closed the window and walked over to my manager because at this point I was dumbfounded. I've never had a customer act like this over an incorrect order. We just tell them we'll fix it and they say, okay, thank you. My manager opens the window and asks her what she wants because she wouldn't tell me, and then she says, just give me fries. We get them for her and then I hand them to her and she's like, your attitude sucks. I said I never had an attitude with you, I was just trying to figure out what side you wanted for your kids' meal so we could fix your order and make it right. You were rude to me from the beginning. She just said yeah, but you could apologize and be nicer about it. I was nice to you, you were the one with an attitude when all I was trying to do was get your order fixed, and then said she'd never come back and drove off. I was going to give her a coupon for free food next time and even offer her some extra sauce for free. We normally charge extra for it. This was also a couple seconds before she started acting rude that I was going to give her this stuff, but I said fuck her. Never in my almost 3 years working at this place have I had a customer speak to me like that. The customers always appreciate me and tip me well. I even had a customer tell me, you are so sweet. My attitude sucks? Take a look in the mirror, Karen, yours isn't any better. Go take your kids' meal. I'm ecstatic that you will not be coming back. If you have worked in fast food for 3 years and only had your first rude customer, you are very, very lucky. Well, I've had them, just not one that's treated me like that. Right. I was doing point at McD's once. Within 2 weeks I walked out when told to apologize to a rude customer. I didn't take the customer's shit or the manager's shit. I decided I worked enough as is and never got a second job again. I love it when they shout, I'm never coming back. Because they think it's the worst possible thing to do and no one ever had to see them again. Unless, of course, it's a bluff. Would you be surprised to hear that on occasion people coming up the ER actually scream the same threat at the staff? The answer is always the same. There are 5 other hospitals in the 60-mile radius. Feel free to share your joy with them. I was going to give her a coupon for free food next time and even offer her some extra sauce. Someone is giving you attitude from the start. You plan to give them free stuff as a result. I hope you also give free stuff to people who are nice to you. Else you seem to reward bad behavior. I've seen customers literally spit at staff. Twice. I'm very surprised I've not seen one jump the counter yet. I work at a place that's drive-through only, so we don't have that issue, but I'm waiting for when a customer throws food at us. When the manager asked what she wanted and she replied, just give me fries, I was expecting her to leave with just a bag of fries, and later complained that that's all she got. A judgmental and rude employee causes a massive sale to be lost due to her behavior. Context: I have a close friend whose size, 6 feet 0 inches, requires to buy plus size clothes or clothes tailored to her needs. She went to a semi-luxury shop to buy clothes. She saved for 2 years to have some nice things, roughly saved 10,000 euros. Upon entering the shop, she already had an employee who were behind her as if she were not welcome here. Then came that entitled twat who works here too. Excuse me, milady, but low budget shop are 5 minutes further. What did you just said to me? Am I not good enough? Well, a customer with a sweater is. She got cut by my close friend becoming angry. See those? Those €100 cuts? I had 10k saved and I hoped I could get some nice stuff because my size is a break to finding nice clothes. But I guess it's not good coming from me? Right? She left the shop and chose another one for her needs. Did y'all think only the writers of Pretty Woman came up with this scenario? It's based on how people actually get treated by these high-end shops. If they think you don't have enough money to be there, they will definitely make sure you feel unwelcome. I literally had a similar experience at Forever 21 when one first opened in my area years ago. I needed shorts for the summer, so my grandmother said she would buy me some, so I suggested Forever 21 cause it was new and the shop had 2 floors, so wanted to see all the cool stuff they might have. Once there we have trouble finding the shorts, so we go to ask an employee and she told us where they were, but added I wouldn't find anything my size. I found some and she was the girl I got as a cashier when I went to pay, so I pretty much threw the shorts on the counter and said I found some with a pissed off tone. They fit me for years before I had to get rid of them when they wouldn't fit me anymore cause they were too big now. Girl was getting paid 12 in HR and thought she was bougie enough to be snobby, lol. My grandmother worked in a store selling crystal and high-end silver. She always talked about how the old money rich would shop in some of the most worn clothes. She treated every customer the same because you never knew who really had money. I usually dress simple because I love to help my friends check if the shop they want to go is judgmental or no. Usually my friends save up money. And it often traduce with like 3k on the account or more. They are child-free and do not own a car. I'm a man 99th percentile in size, 6 feet 3 inches, 255 pounds, 39-inch sleeves, 52 chest, 32 waist. Think any shop has suits ready to wear? And the worst are the premium brand shops. I'm similar in stature to you. If you have a DXL store anywhere near you, check them out. It's my new favorite place to get nice clothes. It has happened to us. My mom was getting married. Me and sis-in-law were in the bridal party and went to a fancy dress shop to get our dresses, and because we are bigger and not very rich, we got treated like absolute garbage. We had the money for our dresses. We saved up for it. We went elsewhere. And sis-in-law told the lady where she could shove it. I mean, this bee with an itch literally looked down her nose at us. I had never seen that happen in real life. We felt lower than low. Entitled kid attempts and fails to guilt trip then threatened me to give up my rare game item. There are only 2 people in this story. Me and EK. Necessary context is necessary, extra context is just for you avid readers out there. Enjoy the tea, as they say in Britain. Or, yeah, no, just enjoy the story. Necessary context. This took place in an airplane game with a player-driven economy where you can buy, sell, and fly planes for cash. I own the rare Antonov An-225, once the largest plane in the world, within the game, and it was worth around 2 million cash at the time of this story. That amount of in-game money is very tough to get. Extra context. Before the plane's unfortunate destruction, almost every seasoned player had a copy of it thinking it would be one chonker cash cow, but they eventually scrapped their copy for money because it wasn't really a good moneymaker at the time and, although rare, wasn't worth much. After the destruction, the value shot up dramatically to its current price because of the clout it gained from the destruction. And as the game expanded, it gradually became the cash cow everyone was wanting, which gave it its value at the time of this story. The story. One day, while deciding to take my Antonov plane out for a stroll around my home airport, many people come up to my plane asking for screenshots. This is normal for every time I pull out my plane, so blah 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 I let them, and this one guy comes up to me in his own plane asking to trade. Enter EK. EK, yo, can we trade? Me, sure. Insert boring trading montage here. EK, yo, how much you want for that Antonov? Me, I ain't selling it bro, it's very valuable to me. EK, bro please. Me, bro I can't otherwise, I don't got any good source of income. Cue the entitlement. EK, but it's my birthday. Me, aight then happy birthday but I still won't give it to you. EK, and my mom has cancer. Me, dying of cringe inside, okay mate best wishes to you our mom but I'm still not giving it to you. EK, are you sure you got that plane the legit way? Me, WDYM? EK, I know you hacked that plane, give it to me or I'll have my admin friend ban you. Me, are you legit serious RN? EK, yeah you prob scam someone or hack that plane and give it right now. Me, wanting to just tease and irk him, okay fine I'll trade it. EK, yay you made my mom with cancer happy. Me, aight man let's just get this over with. In the trading menu, I give him a starter plane and he foolishly accepts it without checking the offer. EK, finally I have a rare plane and tie for giving up your 100% stolen or hacked plane. EK, bro this is a Cessna, why did you give me this? That's it, I'm reporting you. At this point, I leave the game. LOL, I did the same thing with a guy who tried to scam me in Diablo. He switched the rare weapon I wanted for another with shitty stats. I noticed, called him out but he begged me to trade again for the original weapon. Unknown to him I had a shitty version of my original weapon as well. And he did not check. I love scammers, partly because the serious ones knew me and liked me so I was out of bounds. I never risked losing anything I cared about, it was all just pixels on a screen anyway, plus I had enough hard PvP and scammer friends that if you scammed me you ended up having no choice but to quit. I remember 2 noobs scamming me, I needed wood and was too lazy to chop. What they didn't appreciate was I was an explorer and mapper and good at tracking. I actually tracked them back to their base to discover that they were being trained by one of my scammer friends. They ended up having to give back what they had scammed and what they had promised me in trade. My poor friend had to create a new base elsewhere. Oh, and anyone asking for nudes was told that whilst I was female, I was a 55-year-old grandma, so they probably wouldn't be happy with what they saw. What is the game called? It's called Aeronautica. On Roblox. Yeah, I know, but it's a good game. It's got mobile support, but you either need a very good tablet, the latest and greatest phone, or a decent PC to run it. Got a good iPad? Smooth. Good Android tab? Smooth. Latest iPhone 14 Pro? Fry an egg on it. I am British. I have never heard anyone say enjoy the tea. I think, I may be wrong, that it's a phrase from the American South, which is usually spill the tea meaning gossip and etc. I might be wrong. I'm also British and only learned the phrase on Reddit and YouTube. Well, all my friends say let's get into the tea or something similar when they do story time about their trips to the UK. I am guilty of thinking that anything tea related immediately equals UK. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.